Welcome everyone to the Journey to Become Wealthy. My name is Kelvin Reed. So today is Monday. You guys know we had the Fed surprise meeting on today, and as well as still many talks about Russia invading Ukraine. But before we get too far, you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Take a moment to hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I post videos, right? So, Market Monday. There was pretty much no real movement in the market today. I mean, things moved up a little bit, then they moved down a little bit, and then they came back flat. And last night, I pretty much called that, right? I told you guys that we won't see too much movement, maybe some downward pressure if the Fed dropped any news, but it was a closed meeting, so I did not find any news behind it. I was watching very closely. I watched the Fox News channel pretty much all day at work. But yeah, I was waiting on news. I wanted to be the first to get it to y'all, right? But there was nothing, and we got a late video tonight because I've been waiting on something to drop. But I haven't found anything. We still have the Fed news, so they haven't made any decisions, or we haven't heard anything as of yet on whether they're going to make the interest rate hike 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, or that 50 basis points or higher. We still have the guy Bullard, who's very, very aggressive towards decreasing inflation. And I've been hearing a lot of stuff where people are saying that the Feds do not want to take responsibility for increasing their inflation rates. They say it's not the people's fault, it's not the economy's fault, it's the Fed's fault for not tapering earlier, and now they're having to be very aggressive in order to get things down. Again, that's just some things I've heard. That's not my opinion. That's not a fact. And I'm not very big into that type of stuff. But hey, we got to get the word right, because these are things that affect the markets and what we're doing. As far as the Russia-Ukraine thing, it's still just news, right? Still just news. You know, Biden is still out here talking to Putin, trying to deter him from actually invading Ukraine, because we don't want to have to go to war, right? We don't want to go to war. But we do know that with war comes some economic gain. I do believe that usually comes with oil prices. I did not see oil or any other sector really go up today. I saw everything pretty much come down and everything pretty much be flat. Of course, the ETFs are all flat, but some of those other major sectors are down. But I have not seen any major movement. So let's take a quick look at it. Let's see what we got. All right, so we have the S&P 500 down 0.33% today. The Dow down 0.40%. The NASDAQ down, it says 0%. So again, super flat. And y'all know flat for me means not plus or minus 1%, right? And if it's in this decimal point percentage, that's pretty much flat. We have the Hang Seng, even the Chinese marks, because if you guys remember the article from the other day, some of the fears is that China would back Russia. Even China's showing a pretty flat market, right? Because they have that same fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So when we have that type of fear and, you know, a lot of questions out there and without answers, the market tends to be more flat than anything else, because people don't want to take the chance of making risky investments and things going whether up or down. You know, we don't know how to call it as of yet. So waiting on news for tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we can hear something. Maybe we have some form of catalyst, and it may be a long week. You know, a long flat week. Again, there are some small opportunities to make money. I saw the SPY, like here. If you guys see here, I saw the SPY up at this 441 point. I saw it come down to that. I saw it come down to about 438. That was a money making opportunity you could have did a put option. So that's a money making opportunity, right? Or here at this point. So where it was at this 437, it went all the way up to the 441. Now, granted, Theta may have ate away at that one because of the time decay, but it still would have been profitable. So you could have made money on the way up here. You could have made money on the way down here. But when these things are trading as flat as they were today, it's very hard to read it. And I saw this one coming, but this one here, I couldn't tell which way it was going. And at that point, I knew at this point, from it at about 10:30, I knew that I wouldn't be making any trades today. So that's just one of the things, right? And y'all see, this is actually a quick chart. Let me see if I have the app. I don't have my app open right now, but you can see it here, right? You see this point to this point. Very simple stuff you can look at, and you could have looked at the MACD and the RSI on it at these times to see whether it was going to be sold or bought. You see, this is a quick drop. So this was at it says 1808, but that's not accurate, and it dropped down to here. So, you know, these are quick drops that happen throughout the day. If I actually go back, I think here I had the time here, the actual time, and it does. Oh yes, it does. So this was at 1 o'clock. It was at its peak at 441, and by 2 o'clock it was all the way down to that 436 mark. So that was quick money, good money that could have been made. But again, and that happened in pretty much every sector. You see about the same time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So maybe there was some news around that time that pumped it, but I don't see any. I haven't seen any. So we see here Yahoo Finance stock futures muted after Russia-Ukraine. I'm clicking on it just so you guys know. After Russia-Ukraine tensions intensify, so stocks muted. That's really all we see there. Again, nothing that says anything crazy. Stock futures rise slightly as Russia-Ukraine tensions and Fed rate hike worry simmer. Again, I didn't see anything rise, and I don't see anything simmering. It just all look pretty bad. So if we go check out all the sectors, you guys see it again, pretty flattened down, right? Flattened down in every sector. I don't see the point of us going through each individual sector today, but we are going to talk about crypto. Let's see if we see anything major that we're invested in right now, and any major downward pressure. Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. Morgan Stanley actually got pushed down pretty hard, but you guys know everything's down pretty hard right now. Amazon actually still moving strong. Tesla's actually moving strong, but it's down. Again, it's still in the $875 range. This may actually be a buy range, but I'm going to give it a couple days. Energy's actually down this today. And every other sector is flat and red. But crypto. So you guys know we saw our 7-day movement, right? This was on last week. We saw crypto running every day, running. We still right now Bitcoin is up 3% on the day. It came down pretty good. Ethereum is up 5% on the day, still sitting at $3,000 range. And we have Cardano up 4.15% for today. Solana up 8.16% today. Terra Luna up 3.53%. Doge up 2.03%. Shiba Inu up 3.59%. And I'm trying to get to Mana and Sandbox. Mana up 7.79%. And Sandbox up 4.73%. The main thing I was going to talk about is Sandbox, right? Sandbox and SoFi are going to be two of the major ones. We thought, you know, yesterday was the Super Bowl, and we know that Snoop Dogg is a major player in the Sandbox as far as investing in this crypto, this NFT space. And we know that SoFi is one of the stadium that was actually that the Super Bowl was performed at on last night. So SoFi did not perform well, but it didn't perform terrible either. It was down 3.23%, which was equals up to about 40 cents. So it didn't lose any money, but you saw it throughout the day looking positive, right? Pretty much the same time as everything else, about 1 o'clock. And it was holding strong, and it started to slowly come back down. It could not keep that momentum. So that's fine, right? That's what we want to do. We kept watching it and hope for news. What I think is going to happen, I think we're going to see a lot of this news come back to find us later on, especially with these NFTs and SoFi. And it's supposed to be a short squeeze play. I think Sandbox right now I think it's going to come lower, back down here to this $2.70 range, especially with all the bad news we're getting. But I don't know. It could hang out in the $3.50 range. I think it's going to come back down with all the bad news we're going to get. And I'm going to invest in this because I believe it's going to pump up. This and the fact that despite all the bad news, let's go back again. Despite all the bad news, that Shiba Inu is still holding its price at the $4.30 range. Shiba Inu is still holding its price at the $4.30 range, right? So let's do the analysis on it. See where everybody's hanging out right now. 43% of people are in the money, 15% are at the money, and 42% are out of the money. So at this point, this is where everybody's comfortable, everybody's chilling. We got half the people out of the money, got half the people in the money. People probably got in, they probably got out, they probably started running up, they probably saw an opportunity to start doing some selling. And I do think we're going to start to see these numbers change. So you see transaction demographics in the West. More people are trading this thing in the West. Nothing really crazy has happened. It's still showing very bearish and just nothing good coming out of it. However, it is still managing to hold its value. While everything else is down major, this thing is still sitting at the 4 zeros and 30 cents. Now, does that mean it's going to shoot back up at some point? I cannot tell you that. All I know is it's looking really good because it's been retracing constantly. Look at it. It's up here, was at the high, came down to 0.29% for a day, and shot back up to the 0.40 zeros and 30. These types of things is retracing itself. So honestly, looking at it without all this bad news, this thing looks like it's setting up to go to the moon. But it's already pretty high in my opinion, and we never know. And I saw the same thing in Sandbox when I looked at it. I'm like, okay, we seeing a lot of retracement, a lot of stuff going on as far as with these crypto coins. So how are they really gonna move? And I don't think we know. But I'm trying to find the cheapest one. I'm trying to hold on to it. Again, y'all know me with my crypto. I'm in here for the long term. I'm not in here trying to rush and make no quick money. I'm just trying to want to be in there when it happens. I want to be in there when it happens. And Shiba Inu is definitely one of those coins that's cheap enough to afford that it don't hurt any of us to be in there if it happens. Especially seeing that we got other ones that's being beat down severely. And I think I actually took some profits out of Decentraland last week. I took some profits out. Because look at it, it's not making those same moves. It's staying strong. It came down a little bit, but it's staying pretty strong. When it started to come down, I got out and took my profits. I believe I took some profits on either Saturday or Sunday. But that's just some of the things I want you guys to pay attention to, especially with these cryptos. I know I mentioned y'all taking some profit. I know I mentioned the markets being flat today. But I just wanted to show you guys how these things can set up for what may be a pump up, right? It may be a pump up, and we see in the market it's pretty flat today. What's not to say that the news really does settle down and things go green tomorrow? Did you guys take advantage of investing in the market today? Did you take advantage of getting these things at these low prices? Because they are priced very low, and it's very, very many companies that's out here that are being undervalued and oversold right now. So that it's only a matter of time before they start to return to their prices, right? To their original prices, their valuation prices. So one thing I did do today, I bought 2 more shares of Apple because I saw it at that 166 range, and I looked at SoFi. I was trying to see if it was gonna pump, and I kind of watched and Shiba Inu, see if it was gonna pump again. Tomorrow, I do not know where the market's gonna go. I can see it having a little green, to be honest. I can see it having a little green, especially with us not having any news today. No bad news. No news is usually good news. Sometimes it can be sometimes. So I'm seeing us having maybe a little green day, especially seeing how beat down we've been on Friday and Monday. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's video. Don't forget the wealthy word of the week is imagination. Make sure you guys are using your imagination. I actually plan to start making some other videos as far as other things we're gonna get into investing and how we do that research into getting into those investments or those businesses like Airbnb or Turo. And I'm just going to take you guys with me while we kind of research it. I know that's not anything major, but it's going to be a separate video, and I'll be doing that later on in the week. Thank you guys for joining me on the journey to become wealthy. Y'all have a good night.